Xbox has forgotten the importance of exclusives. Exclusive games are what built Xbox. Exclusive games are what made Xbox what Xbox is. And Xbox has just said, nah, we don't need exclusives anymore. Even though exclusives are the reason that people bought the Xbox consoles to begin with. Most of the time, people would buy an Xbox if they wanted to play Halo, if they wanted to play Gears of War, if they wanted to play Forza back on the Xbox original days, if they wanted to play like the new Dead or Alive game, if they wanted to play the Oddworld games, people would have to buy an Xbox. Xbox used to give people a reason to buy the console. I mean, there was also like Kinect games, which were exclusives mostly for the 5 people who bought the Kinect. There was like Dead Rising, there were several Xbox exclusive Dead Rising games, and people went to the console in search of these exclusives. And a lot of Xbox users, myself included, feel really betrayed by what Xbox has been doing. It's just like, having an Xbox used to mean something. The Xbox had its own personality that was largely built on exclusives. Like whenever you take a console's exclusives away from it, what do you have really? Like what makes that device special? And it seems that like pretty much every storefront and console manufacturer right now understands the importance of exclusives, except for Xbox. I mean, Nintendo, they obviously understand the importance of exclusives. If you want to play Mario, Pokemon, Zelda, whatever, you have to get a Switch or a Switch 2. PlayStation sort of understands exclusives. I mean, they haven't gone completely haywire giving out PlayStation exclusives to like the Switch and Xbox. They've given some of them out, but like the big ones, like the really important ones, like The Last of Us and stuff like that, they've kept that hunkered down to just PC and PlayStation. But even some of the smaller console manufacturers like Atari and Evercade, Atari is still making new consoles, by the way, for those who don't know. Even they understand the importance of console exclusives, like Atari's next-gen console right now, the Atari VCS. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I've read that there are exclusives to the Atari VCS, so if you want to play those games, they're not on PC, they're nowhere else but the VCS, so if you want to play those games, you have to get Atari's console. Same thing goes for Evercade. Now, it's a little bit harder to call Evercade's exclusives, since they mostly just port retro games. They do have some new games every now and then, which are mostly like indie titles, but with the Evercade, it's like if you want to play Evercade games, you have to get an Evercade. To the best of my knowledge, Evercade has never published a game on anything except for their own console. So all these other companies are out here understanding the importance of exclusives, and Xbox is like, nah, I don't get it. Like Gears of War belongs to Xbox, Halo belongs to Xbox, Forza belongs to Xbox, etc. And with Xbox just handing them out all willy-nilly, it just feels like a massive knife in the back to me, who's been a die-hard Xbox fan since about, I'd say 2015. I got my console Christmas 2015, so about a decade I've been a die-hard Xbox fan, and then they just turned around and punched me in the nose. They're like, yeah, we know that one of the reasons that you stuck by Xbox was our exclusives, but yeah, we don't care about you. And that just sucks to me. It's like, again, exclusives were one of the things that made the Xbox. Like, if someone was to ask me, back in the day, okay, why should I buy an Xbox instead of PlayStation? I could say, oh, well, you can play Halo, you can play Gears of War, you can play Forza, you can play Doritos Crash Course, you can play Dead or Alive 4, you can play this, that, and the other thing that are only on the 360. Nowadays, if someone asks me, okay, well, why should I buy an Xbox over a PlayStation? Why should I buy an Xbox over an Atari VCS? There's not really any reason to. Now that being said, the VCS specifically, the Xbox does have more games, but that's not what I'm trying to say here. It's like, if someone was to ask you, why should I buy an Xbox over a competitor, there's no real reason to. Like, I don't know how Xbox is planning to sell consoles when there's no reason to buy the console. This would be like if McDonald's gave the Big Mac to Wendy's, and then they pointed to Wendy's and say, hey, if you want the Big Mac, go to Wendy's. And then somehow they still expect people to come to McDonald's looking for the Big Mac when McDonald's is pointing to Wendy's and saying, hey, you need to go to Wendy's to get the Big Mac. I don't know. Xbox has just been going so downhill. And like I said earlier, even like PC storefronts see the value of exclusives. You know, like pretty much every PC storefront has their own exclusives in some way or another. You know, Steam has Valve games. You know, that their first party games. To the best of my knowledge, games like Left 4 Dead, Half-Life, Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike. To the best of my knowledge, these were never released outside of Steam on other platforms like Epic Games or GOG or whatever. And GOG has their own exclusives. GOG gives you a reason to come to them. You know, they have like old Star Trek games, old SWAT games that are only on GOG. You can't get them digitally anywhere else. Or like Zoom Platform. Zoom Platform has their own exclusives. They have like old Duke Nukem games, Commando Strike Force, or they have games with exclusive content. It's like everyone seems to understand how important exclusives are to selling your product, except for Xbox. Xbox is like, we're going to completely sell out, we're going to completely give up our personality and give up everything that made us who we are and expect people to buy from us. That is just so dumb. So dumb, and it feels like a betrayal to someone like me who has stood by Xbox as a loyal fan and a loyal player and a loyal user for about a decade. It just feels like a punch in the nose, you know, to see my childhood console, the console I grew up with, selling out. For what reason? I mean, we're talking Microsoft here. You know, I've seen a lot of people comparing Xbox pretty much doing what they're doing to when Sega converted to a third-party game publisher, but like what Xbox is doing versus what Sega did, those are two very different things. Like Sega went from being a console manufacturer and a first-party game developer to a third-party console developer because they had to do that to avoid bankruptcy. You know, Sega wasn't like, you know what, we're filthy rich, but we want to stop making consoles, so yeah, we're just going to stop making consoles. No, Sega converted to a third-party developer to avoid bankruptcy. Meanwhile, Xbox is over here like, nah, we just want to get rid of the Xbox. I don't remember where I read this, and I don't remember who said it, but there was some top dog at Microsoft who said that if it was up to him, Xbox would be completely shut down for no reason. He just didn't like it. He said the only reason he didn't have it shut down was because there were other people who wouldn't let him. So someone at Microsoft wants to shut down Xbox. I don't remember his name, I don't remember where I read this article, but I did read it somewhere. And it's just so sad to see how Xbox is just sold out, putting former exclusives on Nintendo consoles, on PlayStation, on PC. It really just feels like a punch in the gut. I don't really know what to say. You know, it's sad. I never thought this would come. You know, like 3 years ago, I didn't see this coming. You know, them going to putting their games on like the Switch and the PlayStation. But again, it's like, I don't know. It's sad. It is definitely sad. And that's all from me, I guess. This is just a video that I wanted to make. A little bit of a rant video, if you will. If you can't tell, this video wasn't scripted. And I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. You know, do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think that Xbox is in the right for giving up their exclusives? Do you think they're in the wrong for giving up their exclusives? I think they're in the wrong. I think this is just a butthole move, something that they shouldn't have done, and it's a massive betrayal to fans, if you ask me. But tell me down in the comments what you think of this, why you agree or disagree with me, And a question of the day for anyone who's made it this far: what is your favorite Xbox exclusive, or former exclusive, I should say? So, yeah, a little question of the day there. We're trying something new. Tell me down below. And like always, none of my content is made by AI. I make my own stuff, keep YouTube human, and I don't consent to my voice and likeness being altered, modified, or copied by AI in any way. Thanks again for watching. Have a good one, y'all, and rest in peace, Xbox. Rest in peace, Xbox.